Hey, Darren, what does DN stand for? I heard you knew.
It is a secret thing.
Oh, damn, I gotta ask.
Dana,
All right,
Dana.
we're good to go.
All right. So where we last left off, the Misfits infiltrated one of the Spy Master's warehouses that contained the final part of Project Colossus, which is a gargantuan mech suit crafted with dark iron. Unexpectedly, you reunited with Bartholomew Greymane, which is the Spy Master's son who barred himself away from you. You managed to break into his room, though, and you saw him with Sophia Colethorn, their marriage only a few days away. At first, he refused to speak, but you got information from Sophia about what the Spy Master was selling, it being dark iron weapons, and they, in hopes that they would be able to sell it across the sea to a man named Su Chen, a former monk of Sky's Temple. Thea grabbed a dark iron revolver out of a crate, and her mind was influenced only for a matter of seconds by something dark. And in that instant, Thea raised their gun and shot Bartholomew, nearly killing the boy outright if it wasn't for Laucian and Lorlemire. A mere gunshot sent him flying across the room, the shot so loud it attracted the attention of the nearby patrols. A patrol consisting of Goldtooth, one of the Spy Master's spies, and Sky Captain Faria, which is the leader of the Belcart's military. Thea, knowing Faria, came out willingly. Once Goldtooth stepped into the warehouse, he was shot in the head by Faria. The rest of the guardsmen were paid off to keep their mouths shut, and Faria agreed to arrange a meeting with the first engineer in private. You guys settled on meeting at the Dropped Anchor, which is a tavern run by your quartermaster Gwen. The Spy Master, already suspicious of you all, Faria suggested putting the blame on the burnt corpse of Viesh Ro. His body burnt to a crisp and hardly recognizable. You agreed, and you negotiated with Bartholomew to keep this a secret between you. After such a long day, you fled back to the Dropped Anchor and enjoyed drinks and food. Theo dropped a large bag of gold and splurged on a sweet rum infused with an elixir that enhanced the beauty of the consumer and increased the charisma temporarily for an hour. And in that hour, Sky was approached by one of your crewmates, Savant, and the two passionately shared a bed while the rest of you danced. Bran finally making his move and kissing Thea at the end of the dance. The after party was not as fun as the crew left the tavern, leaving only 4 city guards as the last patrons. A newcomer entered, a halfling named Finn. Under the influence of dark iron, Finn raised his gun at Gwen, but luckily Thea intercepted the attack with an Eldritch Blast that sent the gun flying out of his hand. Lorlemire quickly freed him from the influence, and the halfling finally came to. The time for rest was cut short as the 4 guardsmen transformed into mind flayers. During the attack, a Fey Huntress came crashing down the fireplace. Thea recognized her to be Talia, which was the new leader of the Blood Hunters. And we continued the session just moments after this battle. Finn ran across the walls of the tavern sideways and launched 2 killing bolts into the last mind flayer, one onto his brain and another into his mouth, his head exploding from the impact, Sky unfortunately being the recipient of some purple gunk. You see Talia quickly skip over to you and cast an incantation that seemingly gets rid of all the brain ooze.
Thanks for cleaning me up.
No problem. What do you guys do?
I gotta recover my arrows.
Okay.
Like I shot 4 last week.
You said we knew the guards that had turned, right? Or you said we're unfamiliar with them. I can't remember at this point.
You didn't recognize them, but
Okay.
you just knew that they were just like regular guardsmen that were just here after a shift, probably.
Wait.
However, the Fey Huntress, I think Thea's the only one that really knows her.
Okay.
Finn, That's your name, right, Finn?
That is correct, yes, madam.
My name is Sky. How did
Ah,
you get your hands on that dark iron there?
I don't remember. I'm still trying to piece together. It seems like just yesterday I was, running about my normal self, but I can barely remember the past 3 weeks. From taking a moment to remember what happened, I think that someone called the Spy Master. I was employed by them, and that's how I got my hands on this weapon. I don't, I can't tell you when that weapon took over my mind. Someone as smart as myself, I should have realized it. But this metal is something I've never come across before. It's powerful. I don't know the full capabilities. I can understand why the spy master wants it. But all I can tell you is I had fleeting glimpses of what like the past 3 weeks. I don't remember who I met really or what I did or where I've been. All I can remember is I had to give this spy master a weapon. Something about I hear there's a big wedding in the city, right?
That's right.
I From what I can remember, I think I have to give them the weapons I've created. I think it's a day after the wedding. That's correct. I can't be certain though. It could be the evening of the wedding or the day after. I think it's the day after. But definitely do not hold this, like handle this weapon. And if you do, if you have to, use something, some sort of protective gauntlets to hold it. Because it will corrupt even the most intelligent of minds.
How many weapons did you make?
Just a small cache of weapons. I think maybe a few pistols, and then maybe I think one of them might have been a cannon of sorts.
And where are they now?
Let me. I think I stashed them somewhere. I can't be quite certain. I can't remember that part. But I had to deliver the weapons. I know where I can remember where I had to deliver the weapons to. I had to meet her in some place. If you guys know this, I do not recall. Stonewatch Keep. There's some tunnel underneath Stonewatch Keep. If you guys know the area, I haven't been to that side, but apparently I have to go there in a day after the wedding, I presume, and deliver these weapons, but I cannot recall where the weapons are.
You as you say this, you're kind of recalling all these memories. In your backpack, you don't have too many weapons in there, but the box was small enough to fit in your pack, though it's taking the majority of the space in there.
I have a bag of holding.
Oh, you have a bag of holding. Never mind. You good. It's in your bag of holding.
It's like, oh my god, Finn, why do you have these bodies in here? I forget. So I'm gonna reach into my bag and produce this, like basically a footlocker size trunk, I would say, of these weapons, kind of neatly placed, surrounded by straw. I'm gonna drag it out of my bag of holding and be like, must be where they are.
Found him.
That I forget what's in this bag sometimes. I have a insatiable need to collect things. So, scrap piece of metal, metal dust, springs, of that sorts. It all just goes in here because what do I care? It doesn't weigh anything.
I'm gonna immediately start playing a song for Counter Charm. And I'm just gonna keep that up as long as this is going on.
Okay.
But
So,
who has anyone here touched the weapons before?
Talia raises her hand. I have.
Did you perhaps hear a voice of sorts? That's what I
did.
could hear.
Fia gets closer to hear what both of them have to say about this.
Kind of look over and see that everyone's encroached upon me.
I heard a female voice. What did you hear?
I also heard a female voice. I don't know if it was good or bad, but it was soothing, you know? One that would make you do anything, you could say. Kind of look intently. Serious.
DM,
Mhm.
did I hear a female voice?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. Did you both understand the voice?
If I did, it could have been in that fleeting moment, and that's what compelled me to do what, unfortunately, I apologize. I did not mean to raise this weapon at her, but I cannot recall anything. All I remember is it was soothing, you know? Like a mother rocking her baby.
I too did not understand, but I recall briefly feeling happy. But that's probably just because it's some kind of god.
I do not like to be toyed like this. No one is in control of my mind except myself.
You see Talia reach into her bag and grab this really old-looking book, and she quickly blows off the cover off all the dust, and begins to flip pages while you guys are still talking.
I peer into her book as she's flipping pages beside her.
Okay. From what you see while she skims, it's a lot of notes that have probably been passed down from generations. When she finally stops, it's in alphabetical order, but she flips to the section of mind flares, and you see the name Ilsensign.
I'll look intently at the book. Ilsensign.
Do I recognize that name?
You do not. But when Talia quickly skims the paragraph, I felt something evil here in Belkarth. So I guess now I understand what I'm looking for. Unfortunately, the rest of the people in the Order are kind of busy. There's been an influx of demon reportings along the countryside. But I'm here, and luckily you guys are here too, so maybe you could help me with this.
What do you need help with?
Well, tracking this threat. I wasn't sure what exactly was happening in Belkarth, but I felt something very evil below it. And I assume it has something to do with this dark iron.
Something very odd about this siren indeed. It's nothing I've came across. I've been all around many different cities, come across many different types of metal and ore. I don't like this. If it falls into anyone else's hands, we could have a coup on our hands in days. The city could become overrun with these creatures, and I give a little kick to the tentacle thing on the ground.
I tell them Talia and Finn our experience at Stonewatch Keep and what I went down there.
Interesting. So a vampire made an alliance with dwarves and the kingdom of Belkarth. That doesn't sound good.
An uneasy alliance indeed. One not easily bought and paid for.
I wonder how deep this runs in Belkarth. I can't imagine that the first engineer would be involved.
We can't know for sure, but if you trust him, then maybe it's happening under his nose.
I can't help but feel that I've almost had adventures with the previous, or with the head engineer in perhaps another life. An alternate reality, one might say.
I wonder how far these weapons will get, considering Su Chen is involved, and last I had heard, he was in Hiroshima.
As this conversation goes on, and does the counter charm like it just gives you advantage?
Yeah.
Okay. For the sake of this, I'll just say that it temporarily suspends any influence from the ore, and you notice that, like before, the weapons begin to crack.
What kind of weapons are there?
So there is there's 3 handheld. I'll just say there's 3 revolvers and 1 hand cannon, and you guys well, actually, everyone's new. So Thea would recognize that the hand cannon is an attachment for the spy master's arm, as she was missing a hand. So this would lock into her arm.
And the cannon is just a cannon?
Yeah, that's the piece that would connect into her arm.
Okay.
Finn, I think you should join us and help us to figure out what's going on here and stop it.
I'm always up for many heads are better than one. No, I for certain do not want to be controlled by this stupid aura ever again. But I am intrigued by it, so I want to know more. I think it would do great in my research. But if this person is as terrible as we're made to believe, then, you know, if I was corrupt in this sense, tasked to kill you, I don't know who else might be in danger. Some more thoughts are coming back to me. The soothing voice was kind of compelling me to, I think, to kill you guys or kill one of you in the group. I can't be for certain. But I was tasked to attack you guys because you posed some sort of threat. So you guys seem like worthy foes to her and valuable companions to me.
How long does that counter charm song last, Jeremy?
As long as I'm doing it, I can keep recasting it every like 6 seconds or whatever.
Okay. Every time you stop the song and like get a breath, the cracks repair itself. But as you keep doing the song, it cracks again, over and over again.
Okay, when is the wedding from now?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Or no, sorry, in 2 days.
Okay. Well, we have to stay here for the next couple days. I hope that's okay, Talia and Finn.
Well, no, I did just try to kill some people in the tavern. It may be an uneasy evening, but to my mind, I don't really remember where I've been the past 3 weeks, so here is better than anywhere. Maybe I'll recall more thoughts in the morning after a night's sleep in my own head, you know?
Hey, well, you must be hungry. Let's get a round of what were we eating last time again?
I think it was
well, some of you guys got shots.
Yeah.
Let's get another. You must be starving. Let's get a round of shots.
I cannot remember the last time I ate or drank, so I don't feel hungry, but I of course will indulge in a little bit. Got to keep my mind sharp, you know?
Here, here.
Is there much left of the bodies that we killed, like those tentacle things?
Yeah, there's still corpses on the floor, but you see Gwen trying to clean them up.
Are we taking shots? What I missed?
Can I loot them?
Yep, they don't really have anything on them. They have their weapons and their armors, their half plate, but nothing really on them. Just like, I'd say in total like 6 gold.
Sorry, who did we kill? Like, I was gone for like 2 seconds.
Oh no, it's
The
just
mind
last
flayers.
week. The mind flayers.
That's from last week.
Yeah, you missed a huge battle.
I was like, I missed. I was gone for a minute and a half. What the hell happened in a minute and a half?
Yo, Luke was dying on the ground. Some people were pegged against the wall. It was rough.
What kind of half plates are there? Just like regular?
Yeah, just regular half plate armor.
Okay.
If you put
I'm
all
gonna-
the half plates together, you'll have one whole plate, dude.
I see what you did there. I'm gonna use my I'm gonna bust out my Smith's tools for my bag of holding and just crack a chunk of the half plate off, just as for a chunk of metal for my experiments, and then just stuff it in my bag of holding.
Sure, yeah. You could do that.
I'm gonna look around and everyone look at me, take chunks of the metal off, and be like, "Hey, I need it for my my tinkering. These spells I cast, they don't just come from nowhere."
After you're done, Gwen just grabs the guards by the legs and starts dragging them outside.
Lord Lemire will help.
Wait.
I'll help as well.
I
Yes,
want to
I'll
see
do.
them.
Gwen just looks at you for a second and then drops the legs down.
Describe how the mind flayers look like again.
Yeah, their bodies are similar to what they were before their transformation, but their skin is purple. They seem to have grown long tentacles out of what were their mouths before, but kind of you see them look a lot more thin as a lot of their insides were kind of regurgitated during their transformation into a mind flayer.
Okay. I cut off one of the tentacles that's coming out of their faces.
Okay.
Does it kind of like squirm? Because when you like an octopus out of water, it kind of like squirms.
If the mind flayer was alive, you imagine it would, but it's been
Okay.
dead for a little bit, so no squirming.
I'll just take one piece of it.
Okay, you could add a piece of mind flayer tentacle to your bag.
What are you doing?
You will see.
I've already seen what. Oh, fuck, God, first vegetable's body. What did I get myself in?
I grabbed the most expensive thing from the looting.
It's just gold, so you collected about 6 gold in total.
Okay. And then I have breakfast. And then I start working on a very much inspired Titanic nude portrait of Savant.
Breakfast for dinner?
Oof.
Yeah, do you guys go to bed?
Oh wait,
It's
you haven't slept yet,
nighttime,
right?
Yeah, it's nighttime.
Oh, I thought it was in the morning.
No,
No.
it's still dealing with the mind flayer stuff.
Oh, we've been eating the whole night though, haven't we?
Nope.
And
We were
and
like-
killing.
We were like dancing and drinking and all that, and then all the shit went down, and now we're dealing with all that.
Okay. I get a quick bite of food, and it's really late, I suppose, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I get a quick bite of food, and I go to bed.
All right. So you guys, I assume, all go to bed?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I'm gonna pay for a room. I'm assuming I probably don't have one here. I can't remember it, so I'm gonna pay for a room.
As you go up to the counter, Gwen looks at you. Oh, you're with the Misfits, right?
That is, I guess I am now. So
Oh,
it seems.
well. You guys have a room upstairs if you want to join them.
Ooh, sounds fun. Thank you. And then I'll still slide 2 gold over and say, sorry for the attempted murder from earlier.
That's okay. It happens all the time.
As we're going up the stairs, I just tap Finn on the back. Come on, little man.
Hope you don't mind. You got room for extra little short person in your group.
The more the merrier.
You can just fit in our back pocket.
Are we all sharing like a room? Is it like communal space thing, or is it?
No, we're making bunk beds.
So, yeah, so basically, you guys go upstairs because this is your first night at the dropped anchor. So the beds are all tidy, and there's extra linen sheets tucked in your nightstands in case you get chilly. But you guys share a communal room on the very top of the tavern. It's large enough for 10 beds. But you do have Bran as well, so I assume Thea and Bran share a bed. And I think that Sky might have a room with Savante.
I was about to say, is
Oh, yeah,
Savante and
yeah.
me in our own room, or is this like a communal thing?
So Finn, you have a free bed for yourself.
Ooh.
Wait. I guess. Oh, I have my own bed. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Yeah.
God.
It's basically like a penthouse suite. It's like the biggest room on the top of the tavern.
Penthouse suite, you say? Eh?
Yeah, there's only like 3 floors, so it's not that crazy.
Are there beds big enough for Ulrich and I, or are our feet like hanging off the
Your
ends?
feet are definitely hanging off.
Well, is it because it's like the beds are too short?
Yeah,
like,
well,
we're
these
both
guys are
over-
giants.
Yeah, we're like, I'm under 7 feet, and I think Ulrich's just over 7 feet.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
but-
like 6'10".
Oh yeah, me too then.
Lord Lemire will say, "Hey, for the big fellas, if you need a more comfortable space, you can follow me to my place."
I'll look to Ulrich, see what his response is.
Lord Lemire, you might be confused. You're from Calamere.
I have a tiny hut.
Oh, I see.
It's a long walk home, buddy.
You know what? Sure, let's go, bud.
All right, I live next door,
Interesting. Okay.
and I'm gonna cast Leoman's tiny hut next door. And can I make 2 of the rooms giant size?
Yeah, for sure.
Is Savante just like passed out in the bed?
Yeah, he's drunk and passed out.
Alright. I just grabbed some water and maybe a bucket, just in case.
Okay.
And like, can even 2 of us fit in this bed?
Oh yeah, since it's like you guys kind of got a separate room. It's like one queen-sized bed, basically.
Oh, like I have my own room.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
separate from the communal one.
Okay, good. 'Cause I was just like, ah. All right, that's cool. I stay on the furthest end of the bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, after such a long day, sleep finds you rather quickly. However, Finn, when you do fall asleep, you begin to dream of your usual dreams of tinkering and new inventions, and the dream starts off quite happy.
Yay.
However, it's kind of visions of what you've been seeing these past 3 weeks kind of intertwined between these happy dreams, and the dreams more focus on the voice that you were hearing.
I'll take it.
And
That's fine.
you can see a city that you have never been to physically before, but you somehow feel familiar to it. You see these long walls outside the city that are almost shaped as like knives.
Alright.
It's completely black, but as you go closer to it, you recognize the substance to be dark iron. Inside the city are the tentacly people of the Mind Flayers, and you can see a colony of them, as well as drow slaves. You look to a citadel, and as you go inside of the citadel, you see a long, gargantuan husk of bones. Where the skeleton's head is, you see a elder brain. And that's where you kind of wake up, jolt up in the middle of the night. But before you do, you hear the gentle and familiar whisper of Ilsen Sign
God, that
calling
bitch.
you back.
Fuck you.
And you are reminded again of her imminent resurrection. But you eventually do fall back asleep. And when you all wake up in the morning, you wake up to the usual street commotion of the sketchy neighborhood of the Hobhaven Row district of the city. But the sun dawns a new day, and the day before the wedding. So you remember that you are to meet Faria and Edwin here at the stroke of midnight. Thea gave precise instructions to make a bird sound when they entered to spark the secret meeting. If you are all to head back downstairs in preparation for breakfast, Gwen has booked a long table for you with empty plates and cups ready for ordering. The tavern bustling with patrons ready for breakfast, yet Gwen happily comes over to you if you do go downstairs.
I'm assuming there's like some sort of bathing place here.
It'd be outside. There's like a little bathhouse.
Like, is it like right like outside the tavern or no?
Yeah, it's like right beside it basically. And if you were to head out there, you would see Lord Lemire's little hut.
Just fucking spawn in the middle of nowhere.
So is Savante up?
He's up as well, yeah.
Okay. I would talk to him. I would say, so about last night.
You see him rubbing his temples. Yeah. It was a good night, right?
Yeah, it was such a fun night. Alright, I mean, how is it? You like have a nice night?
Yeah, I had a good night. Maybe we could have another one sometime.
Can Lord Lemire hear this?
Can anybody hear this?
It's in their room still before they head downstairs.
Okay, I thought it was outside.
Yeah. I would be down for another fun night.
Savante just smiles and gets up.
So, I'll see you later.
Sounds good. I'll see you around.
Cool.
Catch you later, alligator.
I leave to go to the bathhouse first before I eat.
All right. And as you head down, you bump into Lord Lemire, Ulrich, and Corhill.
Okay. Are they like blocking my way or?
No, it's awkwardly in front of the
Am I getting
bathhouse.
interrogated here? And then if they don't say anything, I'll just keep walking.
Lord Lemire's talking about the infrastructure of the Leomund's tiny hut.
Yep. It's pretty well built.
Yeah, you see, when you cast the spell, you gotta have a good foundation. That's really the basis of a great hut. And more
Yep.
things like that.
I don't stop to hear this conversation. I just keep going to shower.
One thing I
Morning
will
sky by
note,
sky.
one thing I will note is last night when you were setting up the hut for Lemire, you would see Talia outside of Finn's window.
My window? Creepy.
And everyone's just trying to get at each other, dude. What the hell's going on over here?
Yeah, I guess Lord Lemire wouldn't think too much of it.
Did you see anything?
Well, Talia's not in the tavern that you can see. But when Finn does wake in the morning, Finn, you wake up and as you begin to shuffle out of bed,
Yeah.
you get startled for a moment as you see the elven huntress that plopped down in the fireplace in front of you just last night, standing, hovering over your bed.
Ah, she's
Oh,
like
hey.
6 foot tall, right?
Yeah, she's 6 feet.
Oh my god. It's like, you scared me there, you average sized.
She's like, oh, sorry, I'm not from here, so I didn't think this would be scary.
Maybe you could just, increase your distance between us by about 3 or 4 feet. That'd make me feel much more comfortable.
She steps back 3 or 4 feet. I heard you dreaming last night.
Perhaps, but I cannot recall. Why would you say something like that?
In the Feywild, there's many dreams, so I could almost taste them. So, of course, I came into the bedroom when I heard these dreams.
Huh. That's peculiar. I'll have to see if my pet has any recordings of this. It does track movements of those sorts. I can see if you're telling the truth or not. Do a little tinkering with my little metal pet, and seems like you did weirdly come in and listen to me last night.
Oh yes, we do not lie. And as the two Finn and Talia have this conversation, Lausian, Thea, and Bran are all still in bed listening to the two of them speak.
Quick question: since I'm from the Feywild, can I also taste these dreams?
They taste salty. I hope so.
You are more prone to feelings, and you do get a sense of dread and terror from Finn waking up in the morning.
Since I'm still trying to gather my thoughts, I don't tell them I feel a sense of terror and dread. I'm going to keep that to myself at the moment.
And Talia squints her eyes at you for a moment. It's like, okay, well, let me know if you remember those dreams.
Maybe during breakfast. I am quite starving, it seems like it right now. Feel like I haven't eaten in weeks.
Oh, no problem. And she quickly grabs your hand and brings you downstairs.
Drags me across the floor and down the stairs.
I mean, you're the size of a child, so I mean.
I am a small child. Like, as I'm being dragged, I'm like, oh, there's no need for this. I can walk on my own 2 feet.
She's like, oh, yes, but this is much faster.
I should call you short and stumpy.
But Lausian, Bran, and Thea, what are you guys doing? You guys are still in bed?
I mean, I'm Elvin, so I probably would have slept my 4 hours, woken up, and just chilled. Probably restrung my bow, maybe taking a couple practice shots here and there against the wall,
Against the wall that we're all
Sleeping against.
sleeping.
Is this an outline of everyone's body with arrows?
I probably would have just scouted the area because I don't trust people, so I probably would have just kept my eye out on people who were acting suspicious.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have been in the bedroom then? It would have just been
Would
Talia and Finn?
have been roaming about everywhere pretty much if I could.
Okay.
Anywhere I could get access to.
Once, in that case, once Talia basically carries Finn out of the room, I'm just gonna look to Bran. That was weird, right? That was very weird.
How do you taste dreams?
What do they even taste like? Do you think they're sweet or savory?
I guess it depends on the dream, really.
Like kettle corn.
Well, Finn did look pretty sweaty, so probably tastes like kettle corn.
Or maybe spicy. How about spicy?
Maybe. I mean, you never know with halflings.
Hmm. Gross.
Indeed. This discussion about my tastiness. I
Alright,
am not food.
So when everyone does reconvene in the tavern, eggs and bacon are prepared for you.
Yes. I will request my morning wine.
Gwen's like, all right, well, 1 second. And
She's gonna make a mimosa.
she comes back with 2 bottles. And hold on, I gotta pull up the world map.
You said it was eggs and bacon, right?
Eggs and bacon, yeah. And she brings 2 bottles over, and she asks, there's one from Surathel Forest and one from Calamere. Which one would you like?
I also have to look that up.
I'll have a small one from Surathel Forest, please.
I'll also link it there too for
Oh, thank you.
Galen.
I was about to do that.
Oh. So okay. Not a problem. What about you, Finn?
I will take the vintage from Calamere.
Alright, she pours a glass from Surathel and one from Calamere. Calamere being a lot more sweet. Surathel has a more sophisticated taste to it.
In the monastery, we used to make wine.
Is there any fruit on the table?
Yeah, there's like oranges and grapes.
Okay. I'm gonna peel an orange. You know what? Fuck it. I look to Brad. Do you want some wine? Do you want some breakfast wine, apparently? That's a thing?
I didn't think that was a thing, but 2 people ordered it, so I guess I will also have some breakfast wine.
2 more breakfast wines from Calamere.
All right.
So since
what
I'm
the
a
hell?
small person, I have a smaller glass.
Give me 1 too.
I too would like to have some of this breakfast wine. I'll take a glass of each.
Okay. You guys finish the bottle from Calamere.
Wait. When she comes back, with the orange I've peeled, I want to squish a little bit of that into the drink and let the rest plop, and I'll do the same with Brands.
All right, so Thea prepares some breakfast mimosas.
Breakfast wine.
Breakfast wine, yes. And Lori Lemire, as you drink both, the wine from Calamere you're very familiar with, and it reminds you of home. For Surathel, you have not been there, but you wish to make a trip up there one day.
I'm gonna start singing songs about Calamere.
All right, well, the songs you do know, well, I'm assuming you made these songs?
Yeah.
Well, you know it's the grandest city in the entire world, so your songs probably have something to do with that and how you have the most beautiful view of the ocean waters from your shop.
Your song sounds very much like a microwave.
It's my
Is there
pizza
different
pockets.
types of fruit on the table?
Yeah,
Grapes.
grapes, oranges, apples.
I make a sangria.
Okay.
When the food comes, has the food arrived yet?
Oh yeah, it comes rather quick. It's just bacon and eggs. Doesn't take too long.
I'm gonna kind of take a few sips of my wine and start to recall the last evening's nightmares, so to speak. Explain to them, this. I don't feel myself completely. I still feel like she is with me, this Ilsen. Like she's still trying to gain control of me somehow.
Talia chimes in. Ilson, are you guys on first name basis?
apparently she took great pleasure in watching me do her bidding.
When he says that name, do I recognize it?
You would not recognize it.
Would I?
No.
Would
I
I?
know.
I'd
No.
say that's. Um. Actually, Sky, make a religion check.
Ow.
Perhaps in the forbidden section in the library, you might have had some knowledge. Okay, so with the 16, I'd say that Ilsenstein you recognize as the creator of the Illithid. Well, believed to be the creator of the Illithid anyway. You know the deity to be worshipped not only by mind flayers, but evil mages as well, who may have a lust for power. Essentially, Ilsenstein hungers knowledge above all. She wants to understand everything about everyone, as well as she's able to communicate telepathically. And unlike most evil beings, she'll try to cause conflict within with her influence rather than attack people head on with like physically fighting. So she's more of a whisperer than a fighter. You know that Ilsenstein, like all the gods, have gone silent. But the stories, anyway, the fables of Ilsenstein, you believe that Ilsenstein was killed.
If this is the person you speak of, she seems this god very much alive and takes great pleasure in twisting people to do her will. But for some reason, she's afraid of you all. And I'm gonna point around the table, every single one of you.
In the fables, do they mention who or what had killed her?
When you think back on them, you know that supposedly that before mortal life began, the gods had a huge clash, and Ilsenstein was killed by Thor.
Thor?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Was it because she was against mortal life, or like why was she killed? Because like just for all the chaos she creates.
Yeah, essentially, each god made or like was responsible for a certain race's creation. Ilsenstein created the Mind Flayers, and you don't know the specifics, but you assume that a number of the gods had conflict with each other. So, the pantheon versus the more chaotic gods, like the drowned god or the or Ilsenstein herself.
With all this discussion happening around about this sign, I'm gonna kind of chime in and be like, there is one other thing that's coming back to me. Apparently, all of you misfits pose a threat. Apparently a threat to the Illithid colony. Seems like you're poking at places they don't want you to be. They don't want you to be. So whatever you're doing, I say you gotta continue it because it looks like it's pissing her off.
Hmm.
What I can say is, wanting to kill you, pondering about it all morning. It seems like this person wants to take control of Balkarth. Balkarath City.
Belkarth.
Balkarth. That's the word.
Close enough, though.
That's the thing.
Belakarth sounds cooler.
Yes.
In your dream, you just mentioned something called an elder brain. Does anyone know what that is? Or is that her?
I cannot remember that from my dreams or from being mind controlled. It could be. It's just something that maybe hasn't come back to me yet. It may take me a few days to regain my full memory of what happened.
The Talia pulls out her book, and she reads that the Elder Brain is kind of like the brain behind the hive mind of the Mind Flayers. So they're all connected to this Elder Brain, and it kind of passes them knowledge. And she also mentions that the further away they are from the Elder Brain, the less they're kind of influenced by its knowledge and its thoughts.
So it doesn't so much control them as it influences by proximity.
Yeah, and just shares like general emotions and contempt and things like that.
Talia, can I see that book of yours?
Sure, and she hands it to you.
I'm going to spend the rest of the time going through her entire book.
It's basically a bestiary, and goes through the more intellectual races that aren't kind of integrated with society. Mind flayers,
Bestiary,
orcs. Yeah, so goes through the whole list. But if you were reading the Mind Flayer specifically, it doesn't give much more detail other than that they are from a realm called the Underdark.
Underdark. Okay. Does her bestiary talk about what gods they revere or anything?
The Mind Flayers?
Any.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes through the entire pantheon.
Okay.
Are you looking for the drowned god?
Yes.
Yeah, so the information that you gather from the drowned god is that he is a god worshipped by mostly pirates, as well as more aquatic races like the Triton, which you remember Renea being. It doesn't give too much information, but it says that the fables state that the drowned god is trapped and imprisoned under the Toretto Sea somewhere. The reason being is that he was too powerful for the other gods to kill, so instead they imprisoned him deep below the water.
During their fables, do they say why he was posed as a threat?
Mostly for his creations. Him being so powerful, the kind of things he would create would also be as powerful. That being the Kraken. As well as the Triton themselves.
Okay.
During all this conversation, I'm gonna spit out. I'm gonna all of a sudden spit out some more of my wine. Just gonna erupt across the table.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start coughing and hacking. Like,
Did you taste the dream again?
Did it sour?
Is it spicy?
through coughs and kind of trying to catch my breath, and the wine seeming to go down the wrong pipe. All I'm gonna be able to choke with the words at that time is, the Mind Flayers. They're trying to resurrect her. This Ilsign, and then I'm gonna keep coughing and sputtering out wine until I can catch my breath.
Talia quickly gets up and tries to grab you to perform CPR.
I've been on a boat long enough. I know how to do CPR. I assist.
Okay.
The
So
man is choking on wine, not a piece of food.
So Finn, you feel his force against, and and you continue to cough up the wine. Very painful process.
For it was good wine, and I wanted to keep it down.
So these are the dreams I was tasting.
Indeed, like I said, it might take me a few days to get back to full what happened. 'Cause it's been weeks, but that makes sense why I was being used, being controlled, trying to regain her strength. If this god comes back to be, I don't know what terrible things may happen.
Seems we need to find more information. And on that note, we have plans for later tonight, but what does everyone else have in mind to do until that time comes?
I want to figure out I want to figure out where this dark iron is coming from. I don't trust it. I don't like it. I like to consider myself a quite smart individual. I don't like it when gods try to poke and prod at me.
We've been in the mines where it's been mined up.
Talia reaches into her bag again and pulls out this heavily clothed ball. And as she unravels it, you see a small portion of the dark iron substance. And she looks she looks to Laura Lemire. Hey, do you think you could cast that counter charm on this again? I have a theory.
Sure. I'm going to start playing counter charm.
So, as soon as Laura Lemire begins to cast this on the ore, like before, you assume it will crack, but the piece is so small that it completely just deteriorates and it becomes like a powder, almost fine powder. And as Laura Lemire stops, it slowly goes back into physical form. And Talia thinks for a moment. Do you think if we destroy that elder brain, that the dark iron will lose its power and lose its form once it's killed?
If that is the only thing left of it, I can only hope so. I feel like this Alpha Brain might be the resolution to all our issues. All I know is that I have to deliver these weapons. I'm gonna kind of pick up my bag of holding a day after the wedding. If I don't show, I think someone else will fill my position then.
Maybe it behooves us to let Finn's mind captors think that he's still under their spell.
Is that safe?
I will never touch those weapons again. But maybe I can construct something in the meantime to at least hold on to it.
And go to the meeting spot when you're supposed to.
We'd have to make it look believable. I need to be holding the weapons though. We can
construct some.
We can construct something. Give me one day. I can figure out something.
We have a blacksmith friend who can construct some non-dark iron replicas.
Oh, don't worry. I have plenty of tools with me. I just need to forge.
That's a good idea. Make them pull the wool over their eyes.
Well, they are quite smart individuals. It's safe to assume. If we're gonna do this, we gotta be stealthy.
And we must make no mistakes.
I can pass places without trace. Hopefully you guys will be able to do the same.
I can do it.
I
All I
trapped
know,
big monsters all my life. I know how to keep quiet and blend in.
well, all we know is that I'm supposed to kill someone here. And as of right now, everyone's still living.
Is the dark iron ore still on the floor?
It's on your table, yeah.
Do we have more of it?
You have the weapons, but I assume Finn put them back in his bag of holding.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
like them.
Who took? This is the ore that Finn has.
It's the ore that Talia put on the table.
Talia. Talia, do you need that?
Just for curiosity, but not really.
Okay. I also have some curiosities. I wrap a cloth on my hand and I pick up the ore. And do you want to be curious with me? I look at Talia.
She shrugs. Why not?
And are we the only people in the tavern?
It's pretty busy.
Ah, okay. I'm gonna go upstairs,
We're
I
just like
assume-
fucking.
and I signal to Bran to follow.
I assume everybody goes back upstairs.
Yep.
I am 100% curious. I am
Yeah.
speedily following along, ducking under people's legs.
Sneaky boy over here.
Pass without trace.
Once upstairs, I'm gonna set it on the floor
Mm-hmm.
and give Bran a smile and a wink, and I'll extend my hand, and as I do, I'll summon my weapon.
Okay, so for Finn, I believe is the only person who hasn't seen this before.
Yeah.
Thea is a water genasi, and you see two perfectly normal arms, but you see on command that one of her, I think her right arm, her right arm transforms, and what was once a hand now becomes a sickle. And you see encrusted on this blade is barnacles, seaweed, just like stained across it, and a large yellow eye, kind of where the hilt would be, that kind of ties it to her wrist. The eye itself is looking directly at the dark iron.
Crusty. On a gaze with intent.
I'm gonna try to slice the ore with my weapon.
Okay. So you go to the ore and jab at it. And when it does, everybody feels this quake beneath them as the whole tavern begins to shake. As once they make contact for a brief moment, you see this spectral tentacle, this purple one, kind of brace the impact of the blade. And as it does, Thea falters back. And you hear this very deep, guttural speech, and it whispers only one word. And I think Thea's the only one that understands deep speech. as it's coming from the drowned god. But you can hear him whisper, "Ilsen sign." And Thea, for a brief moment, you hear a giggle coming from a female voice that you recognize from yesterday.
Curious. Are we still shaking?
It lasts for about 6 seconds, so a full turn of combat.
I didn't. Did the tentacle come from the ore
Mm-hmm.
to stop the? Okay.
Yeah, it's spectral, so it wasn't a physical, but you could see it, kind of blocking it.
I'm going to not come down at it as if I'm going to attack it, but I just want to like tap it with the blade.
As you do, it's like normal. The two make contact, and the kind of pebble of dark iron moves slightly.
Does the tentacle that I have react in any way at all?
You pull out the tentacle from your bag, and you notice that the once purple, fleshy, gross, oozy skin is deteriorating into like a gray color.
Ew.
But it doesn't react.
Well, that was a fun experiment. I wrap up the ore with the same cloth I had and hand it back to Talia. Thanks.
No problem. And as the early afternoon approaches, is there anything you guys want to do before your meeting tonight? If not, we could just skip ahead to midnight.
Laura Lemire will. Hold on, let me just try and remember here.
Valsian will ask Finn how he slept, as he could also taste some dreams, a couple dreams here and there.
Sky will set a booth for drawings, and we'll ask the public if they would like their drawings done for some monies.
All right, how much are you charging per drawing?
DM decides.
I decide.
Yeah.
2 copper.
The end.
It's free.
Well-
It's all free.
Not free. Girl doesn't do free.
Yeah.
I'd say it's really up to your discretion, but a reasonable cost would probably be a couple gold per
Perfect.
drawing.
Couple gold a portrait it is then.
All right, and I assume you're doing this for the better part of the day.
Yeah, and if I get no customers, on my off time, I will do sketches of Savant in Titanic style nude.
I'd say
body.
for sure you could get that done. I'd say make a let's just do a persuasion check, because I assume you're trying to find customers.
Okay.
Laura Lemire wants to look for good quality wood.
I think that we had a system for that, but I forget what it was.
We did. So I just need to know if I can find. Hold on. Let me find that again. If I find bad quality, low quality, medium quality, or high quality.
Okay, so I think it was a roll of. So it's
probably a roll of survival. I just don't know what I needed to roll for what.
What we normally do for professions is you do a d20 roll plus proficiency plus the like the whatever, like, so survival would be a part of, I think, like, which stat is that?
Wisdom.
So it'd be your wisdom score plus proficiency plus your roll. I think that's what we did.
Okay, that would be a 10.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd say, we come up with DCs for the
Nope.
wood?
Not that I wrote down.
And what were the properties again? It was bad wood and good wood.
Bad, low, medium, and high.
Okay. I'd say that it's low quality wood with a 10.
All right. Is there a fireplace in the inn?
Yes, there is, yeah.
I'm just gonna chuck it in the fireplace.
Okay.
Not
Gwen
even
says,
worth my time.
Gwen says, thanks for that.
No problem.
Sky with the 7, I'd say that you get a total of 8 gold.
Okay.
But you are able to complete a portrait of Savante if you want to make a performance check.
Since I'm proficient in painter tool, should I add my proficiency as well?
Yep, add proficiency. So it's basically like Laura Lemire's check to see if you could spot any good trees. Not your best work, but it does look like Savante.
Okay.
If you squint your eye, tilt your head to the left.
Is there a forge or a blacksmith shop nearby?
Let me check. Yeah, there is actually. It's Unog's. But when you go to the blacksmith, you see a drow, which is
Unfamiliar drow?
you would know because you're from around this area. You would know that drow are never seen, and you know that the city's history with drow in particular is very hostile towards them because they did an invasion about, I think, 13 years ago, where they tried to invade Belkarth. So it is like a very uncommon sight, and it's actually the first time you've seen a drow. So you see an elf, but with pale skin. Or sorry, dark skin, dark gray skin. And red eyes.
Here is this drow just alone standing there or talking to the smith that owns the shop?
So with a name like Unog, you're not sure if that is a drow name, but the sight of this dark elf is kind of a surprise to you. But you see him working alone. You notice right away that his craftsmanship is unlike any that you've seen in Belkarth, as it has like kind of this finesse to it.
Can I roll a history check to see if it's like Unog would be a drow's name to kind of...
Sure, yeah, you could try and roll a history check. Okay, so you know that Unog is probably a draconian name, so a dragonborn. It's more suited to a dragonborn.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of walk up to nearish to the drow and say, it's the evening, right? Or afternoon right now?
Early afternoon, yeah.
I'm just gonna walk up and say, good afternoon. Hope I don't mean to disturb you.
Not at all. Welcome.
Is this your shop?
For the time being. Unog's not here right now.
Oh. Yeah, I almost assumed for a fleeting moment you were Unog, but I understand that is not a drow's type of name. What may your name be?
My name is Soren. Unog is... He won't be back for some time, I'm not sure when.
Can I roll a perception to see if he's telling the truth or not?
Yeah, roll an insight check.
Insight?
Am I with Finn? Since I was asking him a question before that he never answered.
Yeah.
We were just walking and checking, chatting.
So,
Insight? Okay.
if you wanted to, I'd say you'd walk along with
Mhm.
Finn, and you recognize this blacksmith to be the place where you kind of crafted that replica of that part.
I crafted the replica?
I think it was Sky who crafted it. It was the session before that really long break.
Right, it was like the spherical thing, right?
Yeah.
That we made.
I'd say that whoever wants to join Finn, you kind of see Finn like leaving to go about the town. So you know that Finn is basically a native of this area, so he knows the city a lot better than any of you. So it's up to you if you want to come.
And I'm someone that just was recently mind controlled, so I am very great to be left on my own.
Lorlemir is
I
gonna
can come with
follow
them.
along.
Okay. Me too.
All right. So you guys all recognize this blacksmith. You recognize Soren as well, as you freed him from that torturer's chambers underneath Stonewatch Keep. When Finn approaches, you hear this conversation, but as he sees you all approach, but with Finn with the 5, you feel as though he is speaking the truth.
Okay.
As you all approach as a unit, Soren seems happy to see you. He says, I did not realize you're with the Misfits.
Ah, yes. Yes, it seems like we're quite pals now, I guess you could say. They seem like good folks. But I'm wondering, would you allow me the opportunity to borrow your forge for a little while? I'm looking to construct something.
Sir, it's not mine, so feel free.
Does Soren speak Draconian?
He does not. That you
Does he?
remember.
Would he speak Elvish?
He does speak Elvish.
So the question, when I ask him, can I use your forge, I'm gonna speak to him specifically in just Elvish.
He responds back the same, but you understand that his Elven is kind of not as what's the word?
Clean?
Good.
Yeah, it's not as clean as yours. It's more that novice at best.
Okay.
Can I
So
ask him a
many-
question in Draconic afterwards?
Yeah, you could try.
I mean, ask him in Draconic where Unag went.
He recognizes Unog, and he tries to speak back, but it doesn't really sound comprehensible. But he walks up to you and whispers, I think that the spy master took him.
I'll respond in Draconic. Spymaster. When? When was he missing?
The night you dropped me off here, and you made that replica, and you went into the warehouse.
And he never returned.
No, I saw the spy master investigate the warehouse. And next thing I know, she ends up here, and she took Unog, but I was hiding, so she did not find me.
Is it possible Unag sacrificed himself?
I don't think that he fought them. He's not much of a fighter. He's an older dragonborn. I think fighting's long past his capabilities. I did not know him long, but he seems like a good man.
Very well.
During their conversation, I'm gonna use the forge. I'm gonna bust out my blacksmith tools and just create basically just like a rough set of tongs to kind of handle the dark iron, and basically just like constructed just a cheap rough gauntlet to hold on to the dark iron pistol or
Okay.
weapons.
So I'd say make a smithing check, which would I think be proficiency, like a d20 roll plus proficiency plus your dexterity.
Before you do that, Laura Lemire is going to sing words of encouragement and give you a D8 on top of that.
A D8, sick. So you say it's plus my proficiency bonus, but I get a double. Yeah, proficiency bonus doubled. Cool.
All right, perfect. So
Because I have tool expertise. So it's there. Plus, what was it? Plus dexterity bonus?
Yep.
Okay. Plus the D8, dear lord. I was doing two things.
okay, so 14. Oh wait, you rolled a natural 1.
Oh.
No, I did. Oh, fuck, I did. No, that was. Oh, son of a bitch. I did.
Yep.
Bitch.
I was wondering how you got a 14 with double proficiency. Were you using the materials from the half plate, or do you have more materials?
I have other materials, but I'm just using the chunk of breastplate, basically, that I pulled out.
Okay. Well, with the natural 1, I'd say that it is not
fuck up.
salvageable. Yeah.
No. I have other chunks of metal. I'm gonna turn to the drow and I'm gonna speak in Elvish to him. Just gonna ask, excuse me, can I pardon you to if you have a piece of metal, scrap piece of metal you don't need, I would gladly buy it from you.
He kind of motions towards the junk pile. Have a look. And I'd say you have enough materials to work with to craft what you want to make.
Perfect. Yeah, just a cheap set of tongs and like a cheap gauntlet.
Alright, so roll again. See if you get something that's not a 1. I think like the only way you would fail is if you get another 1.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
I've seen stranger things happen though.
I mean,
Do I still
You
get
have a
that
one
D8 from Lolamir?
If you used it during that roll, then
I
you do
did.
not. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, 16. Easy enough. You were mind controlled for 3 weeks, so you feel like that had something to do with the first. But with this one, you craft just what you want.
Sick.
When I was making people's portraits, could I inquire about if they know of a place where you can do enchanting?
Yeah, easy enough. Let me just quickly pull up the city. You get the general name of Umair, which is the item shopkeeper that you battled against during the Kinfire Festival.
Oh wait, then I wouldn't even ask because I wouldn't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Can I leave myself some time to go visit the mayor?
Sure. Before we get there, though, Thea is having a conversation with Bran in the tavern. Take it away, Karen.
Oh, sorry.
Thea's
I was
still
snacking.
Thea's still eating her bacon and egg.
Can I get two pints? I signaled to I don't remember her name.
Gwen.
Gwen.
And she nods happily and goes to the back. And Bran laughs. I guess we're not stopping at morning breakfast wine.
I assume it's afternoon, right? At this point?
It's around 12.
Yeah. I don't remember last time we were able to freely sit without having a whole entourage of people. Or, getting ready for some battle of some kind. So yeah, I'm gonna have a pint.
Cheers to that.
So as soon as Gwen comes back and sits down, I grab it and I chug her right down.
Bran follows suit and does the same.
Oh, okay, that's nice. Okay, Bran. I'm ready now.
For
I like you. A lot. And things are only gonna get a lot more dangerous. And I don't want to play this game anymore of back and forth.
Bran puts his hand on yours and he stops you. I love you.
Thea didn't stop talking when he did this. What?
I knew the second I lost you that I couldn't. I shouldn't keep that from you. I thought you were dead, but you came back. And when I heard your voices, I thought I was going crazy. I saw you die, but I knew I had to tell you if I were to ever see you again. I thought it would be in the afterlife, but here we are.
Thea squeezes his hand. I love you too. But I
And
do have a lot to tell you.
I do too.
Okay? You first.
When I saw you die on the battlefield,
Not a great time for me.
for me too, I went on a rampage, but the people were getting slaughtered by the Pirate King's crew and Torvin's crew. I snapped out of it for a second and went to rescue them. And I took whoever didn't make it to the castle and I brought them to the sewers. And I saw a dying mother. And she asked me to take her son. And when I did, I don't know. Time I spent with them, I feel like I was ready to have a kid of my own, I guess.
Thea is blushing. Did you still keep in contact with the little boy?
I said my farewells when we left Itramos, but I hope to see him again.
I'd like to meet him.
I think he'd like you.
What was his name?
Sid.
That's a good name.
He has a knack for swords, but he could work on his great axe skills.
Well, I much favor the sword myself. Obviously, a kid of taste.
So what did you have to say?
Not as wholesome as your story. And then I go into the details
Of the Drowned God?
the Drowned God and how I got this far and the pulls I get.
I knew something was weird.
When my eyes change color, yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that you came back from the dead, which doesn't really happen often.
Nope. That
Well,
would be a weird one.
actually, it's I think it kind of happened with your axe throwing friend. You think he's referring to Corhill when he had his life ripped from him from his encounter with, I think it was Amaric.
Oh!
Or no, it was with Phalangrim.
So, yeah, uh-huh.
That bastard.
Right. Time with me isn't going to be easy.
It never is, but we're in it together.
I asked Gwen for another round and I scoot a little closer to him.
And he wraps his arm around you, and the two of you spend some time in the tavern, I imagine.
Yes.
Okay. As for Sky, what are you looking to get enchanted?
I'm talking with Umir now.
Yep, you make it to the bell tower district.
I just
And-
kind of wanted to get a price quote. So I have this item here. It's already enchanted. And I was wondering how much it would cost to move this enchantment onto another item.
Which items are you referring to?
I was thinking moving this enchantment from the staff to like a necklace or of some kind, or actually I have these prayer beads. Maybe even onto these prayer beads would be good.
What's the bow do, or the staff do?
It's Grenda's staff, quarter staff, and it gives you +1 to attack and damage.
Oh, so you just want a +1 enchantment. Okay. Well, considering you have the enchantment already, I'd say, hold on. Why don't we call it 800 gold?
Woo!
Good to know. Like I said, I was coming in for a price quote. I will definitely keep it in mind.
Okay.
How much would it cost for like a like for you to just come up with the enchantment?
It'd probably be around 1,500 or so.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, well, it's nice seeing you again, Umair.
No worries. Can you throw a log into my fire before you go?
Sure. I do
And
that.
as you leave and toss the log, you hear the fire reply back, "Thanks, Sky.
Always a pleasure.
See you around."
See you around.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone wants to do before the meeting?
Can Finn finally answer my questions?
I've been trying to ditch his questions all day.
This guy's been like fucking trying to Neo from the Matrix my questions. It's a simple question. This guy thinks I'm gonna ask him about his fucking family.
All right. Quickly use your
Drow.
reaction so you guys can continue the conversation. 1 sec.
So what was the question again?
So Finn, have a good night's sleep.
It was okay. Why do you ask?
Well, I saw you thrashing a little bit, and you know us from the Feywild. We have a certain
Wow.
knack, a certain knack for feeling dreams.
You know, just a brain as smart as myself just never seems to want to stop working even when I try to sleep. But I guess you could say I'm still trying to piece together the events of the past 3 weeks.
Well, I won't pester you too much. I'll leave you with one thing. I know what fear is, and I know when I sense it.
I'm back.
You haven't quite earned my trust yet.
I understand. That goes for both ways. Maybe the Spy Master will have more answers. One of my greatest fears is that I can barely recall 3 weeks ago, within the past 3 weeks. Yet I can recall incidences from years ago, decades even. All I
It
can tell you
seems-
is this god plays tricks with people's minds. Mine, with anyone. Don't think I can sleep soundly knowing that can still happen. Anyone could be killed, or even worse, controlled. I mean, I have your trust right now, but believe me, I'm still trying to figure this out. All I know is that this god, these mind flayers, they are connected definitely with this place. And they fear you guys the most.
As they should.
All I can say is that I definitely agree we should concoct some sort of plan when I have to meet with this so-called spy master. Because I seek answers to questions they may have.
Do not put all your hope into this spy master. You may not get the outcome you are hoping for.
That is true. But I have my ways of getting the truth out of people. You always don't need force to make people talk. Sometimes you just need a sharp mind.
Malcine's gonna slowly walk away, turn, and say, I know. Trust me. Let's just say I have a certain knack with these kinds of... I've got my eye on you. And I'll walk away, with my eagle on my shoulders.
Okay. So, with that conversation wrapped up, and Sky spending the majority of the day painting, Thea and Bran having some tavern intimate times together. And is there anything else? Lorelmere also trying to get more firewood for Gwen, which was nice. Is there anything else you guys want to do before midnight?
Probably around dinner time, I would try to find Savant, see if he'd want to just have a meal together.
Yeah, you find Savant. He makes his way to the tavern, and he tips his hat to you. Oh. Hey.
Hey,
What you got in your hands there? And he points to your painting.
oh, just practicing my craft and all. No, it's not good. There's lots of better ones, and I bring out a different piece that looks much better.
Wow, that sure is pretty.
Thank
But
you.
I want to see that one. What were you working on?
No, like I said, it's not very good at all. Really, not worth a single look or time. I only want to show you the really good ones, like the ones that really.
Okay. Well, I'm sure it looks lovely.
You can't hear anything you're saying.
Oh,
Neither can he.
Yeah.
What are you and Savante doing over there? Holy shit.
She just closed the door to the room again.
Yes, that's just so embarrassed.
Yeah. So I'm like, I was gonna get some food. Did you want to get some with me?
That sounds nice. Can I get you a drink?
Yes, most definitely.
What do you drink?
Pick something out for me. I feel like trying something new.
As soon as Gwen comes, Jesus.
Jesus.
As soon as Gwen comes around, he asks for, let's just say,
A room?
he asks for vodka.
Wadko.
Sky, I'm not sure how much experience you have with the strong liquors.
I would say she's very well experienced with wine, as the monastery did make wine.
Mm-hmm.
The stronger stuff, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how popular that was in the monastery. But as you drink it, you kind of are a bit more inexperienced, so I'd say make a Constitution saving throw. Love is truly in the air this Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we're a week early.
Okay. You seem to impress Savanta as you down the shot, no problem. And you two order some food and share an intimate meal before the party returns back to the tavern.
Nice.
And he tells you stories about where he's from, him being a part of the Ravagers. He tells you a bit more about Olani, which was the chieftain that you encountered with that giant machine gun. And he kind of brings a more human aspect to her, as you only know her as this like insane warrior. But he seems to have stories of her on a more personable experiences, and she would just crack jokes a lot. She seemed to be a very down to earth person, and he's a bit surprised that she would take that deal and become a vampire just to be freed. But he tells you a bit more about where he's from. He's from the country of Korra, which is a very distant country on the other side of the world. He tells you about these crazy animals that are very exotic. You've never heard of a elephant before, but he describes it in vivid detail. And it makes you have a little bit of inspiration for your next painting.
Amazing.
And
I also share with him my life as I know it so far.
so you go into detail about your younger sister, about your monastery, about Hiroshia, and as you two are both from pretty far away lands, you kind of bond over that, as no one in Valen will probably kind of understand where you grew up and where you're coming from. So it's kind of nice to have that to relate.
Perfect.
All right. So as everything wraps up, you guys return back to the dropped anchor. You guys see Sky and Sponte drinking some wine and chuckling to themselves. So you guys all keep your eyes on the clock ticking above the bar. And as time passes, the rowdy tavern dulls into a quiet standstill. Not a moment past midnight, the door to the tavern swings open. And as two hooded figures enter, one of them awkwardly goes, "Caw, caw."
Thea stands up straight, looks at them, and just kind of tilts her head so that way they walk towards her. And sits back down, all serious.
Okay. As the tavern still has a few patrons, Gwen motions for you all to come with her behind the counter, and she reveals a hidden trap door with stairs that descend below into a cellar. I'm assuming you guys go with her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So you descend down the steps below the tavern.
My Steve will
And-
come with me.
Okay. So you see in the cellar, it is filled with ale kegs, and hidden behind a locked cage are the harder liquors and wine bottles from various regions, some even outside of Valen and countries you haven't heard of before. Besides the alcohol, there is a makeshift table made from emptied crates, and Faria and Edwin both seat themselves and gingerly lift their hoods. And Edwin looks to you grimly and speaks up. "So, I heard there was some trouble yesterday below Stonewatch Keep, and again in one of the Spymaster's warehouses."
Yep.
Well, what's happened? Because the Spymaster seems to believe you had something to do with it.
Well, we were there.
Faria nods. She doesn't seem to believe that attack could have been done by one individual. And I'm afraid you left his armors. It had an emblem of the Everlight Brotherhood on it.
Right. Right. We may have overlooked that one there.
Not to mention as well that our church priest was killed and left in a snowbank near the mine. And you think back to when you killed Grunja, the blood priest, who probably had some kind of disguise as a human to be the Belkarth priest of their church.
Thea kind of chuckles. Maybe a couple overlooked things.
Edwin kind of scratches his head. "Did you have to leave the body so close to the mine?"
No, but we didn't really have a lot of time. Also, how are you? Haven't seen you in so long. How are you doing?
I'm well. A bit concerned. I had no idea what the spy master's been up to.
Yeah. Not great.
Definitely not great. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out what looks like envelopes, and he scatters them amongst the table. I didn't realize you had so many new party members and that Mimi would be not here, but we have invitations for you
Oh,
for tomorrow.
the wedding. Chorus.
Yes. And I didn't have invitations for the newer members or the newer additions of your team here, but Faria and I were thinking, in order to confront the spy master, assuming that what you're saying is the truth, we would need some concrete evidence. And I think that if we can get that evidence by tomorrow, and we confront her publicly during the wedding,
Ooh, I
then
like a good public shame.
agreed. Then I think we'd have a easier time transitioning her power.
I like it.
This fits my style perfectly. Lord Lemire
Good.
says.
I like this too, but do any of you guys have any ideas on how to deal with the Spy Master's cat? For I heard that they like to use the cat to scry on whoever enters her space.
I'm not too sure myself, but Faria and I were thinking that whoever's the more stealthy ones amongst you can devise some kind of plan to sneak in during the wedding.
Laura Lemire says, I can be one of those stealthy people.
Perfect.
I am quite stealthy myself.
I am also quite stealthy.
You guys are way too tall to be stealthy.
Both the first engineer and the sky captain chuckle.
I look around and wonder who said that.
Huh?
Faria looks to you, Corhill. Oh. I've heard that you know someone named Azrael.
By know someone, you mean someone I want to slam this axe into their face? Yes, I know them.
Yes, yes. Well, we met with Azrael not too long ago. After the Battle of Tiragard, he wanted to make a deal with Belkarth. In exchange for our technology, he would use the necromancy shard to bring back our dead. We refused, of course. I like how Karen still remembers the name of that cat, even though that was like 3 years ago. This campaign's fucking old.
I don't say anything in return. I just try to keep as cool as possible.
Cool as a cucumber.
The first engineer kind of chimes into this. We believe that the spy master's working with Azrael so that he could bring back her late husband. We imagine that she's not in the right set of mind right now. I never would have thought she would stoop this low, and I have a feeling that this vampire's luring her into this, as well as the influence from this death god or whatever. But truthfully, she's not a bad person, but course, what she's done so far can't stand.
She'll have to answer for her crimes.
But I would want to mention, as you are all formally invited to the wedding, that weapons are not permitted. And you must surrender your weapons if you are to bring them.
Thankfully, my weapon is an instrument.
I
What are we
can't
to
promise
do?
they'd allow that, but ideally all you would bring is formal wares.
And what if things go south? Don't go as planned.
I assure you, nothing will happen. It is a wedding, and we have many guards stationed there.
I'm gonna kind of nudge Xian and then just point at my bag of holding.
Those probably won't be permitted either.
I've learned in the past, in many painful ways, anything can go wrong at any time. And if Azrael's involved, that means that rat bastard Philangrim is also going to be involved in some way. So that makes things all the more complicated.
I do not disagree with you, but you have to trust us on this one. If you guys enter with these weapons or bags of holding, it'll break our cover, and we won't be able to secretly and discreetly find these evidence and confront the spy master. It might ruin the whole operation.
I'll be okay. My body is a weapon.
Very good, see? You are protected.
Say we decide to bring our weapons and we give them up at the door. Would that cause an issue?
I think that any presence of hostility would be noted by the spy master. I'd suggest leaving the weapons maybe in this tavern here.
Fair enough.
That being said, your friends who are going to sneak into the spy master's chambers, perhaps you could sneak in some weapons. As once the ceremonies begin, this level of security will probably dwindle, at least for the front gate.
Fair enough.
So you suggest we bring some, not our personal weapons, but the random weapons to hide at the front gate?
Well, if you are going to be a part of the group sneaking into the spy master's chambers, then I assume you could sneak in to the front gate of the wedding. So if you want to carry your own weapons, feel free to. But I imagine that the weapons of your party members may be too heavy for you.
That could all fit in my bag of holding while I sneak through.
If
I
you
have
so
no
choose.
problem complying.
Good. Then then after the ceremony, we'll meet again. I assume you could sneak back into the wedding and we could confront her during the reception. With whatever evidence you do find.
Absolutely.
Good. So, as the dungeon master, I just need to know who is planning on sneaking into the spy master's chambers and who is going to the wedding. You'd know that the spy master's chambers are in another section of the city than the wedding. The wedding is taking place in the district of worship, and the spy master / the council's estate is in the bluffs, which is above the city.
How many people, or can we dedicate to stealthing?
It's really up to you. Yeah, I'd say you could
Oh.
split it amongst yourselves.
I'll attend the wedding since I don't have to carry my weapon. And because Thea wants to see Bran all dressed up.
I'll sneak in because I am very stealthy. And my body's a weapon.
Thea does that.
Laura Lemire's
I-
sneaking.
I volunteer to sneak in. Unlike yourself, I can make myself even smaller.
Is that possible?
I'm actually just gonna, as a show of pizzazz, I'm actually gonna cast reduce on myself, and I'm gonna shrink to.
Where you just disappear?
I'm gonna shrink to 1/8 my size and weight.
Can I pick him up and start juggling him?
You
Nope.
definitely can.
You-
And I can fly up. And very few people tend to look up.
I'm gonna throw him at Corhill. Corhill, catch!
I instinctively look up.
Okay. What are you throwing at me?
Finn.
Oh God. I try to catch him.
Okay. Man, I don't even know what kind of check you'd do. Make a dexterity check.
Well, technically, for him to pick me up, he'd have to roll a strength. He'd have to roll a strength saving throw to pick me up.
I'll do that.
That's for picking up. I'd say that for catching you in midair, a 6 probably doesn't make it, but
It's
you
okay. I
take
don't want to catch him anyways.
as Lausian kind of whips this kitten-sized Finn.
Actually, smaller than that.
Corhill, you try and catch him, but you lose sight of where Finn is, and Finn, you take 3 bludgeoning damage.
I'm actually going to cast Mage Hand on myself and catch myself in midair.
Okay, I'd say that can't happen.
And I'm just gonna hold myself basically sitting on my magical hand above the reach of everyone. And say, look, I can sneak anywhere, and then I'll remove the reduce spell on myself, and then the mage hand will also dissipate.
Okay.
I will attend the wedding. Seems you guys have the stealthing under control.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
him as
same.
well.
All right, so Ulrich and Corhill. So far we have Sky, Lord Lemire, and Finn sneaking into the Spy Master's chambers. Sound good?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Edwin kind of looks to Aster and says, "I'm afraid you can't really bring that talking head either."
Oh my God. I forgot
Oh,
about
yeah.
that guy.
Oh man.
Aster's like, "Ah," and tosses it aside, and you hear him go, "Ow." I'm just gonna assume Randall and Aldrea will be going to the wedding as well, as they'll probably come next week and be like, "What?"
We went to a wedding?
Okay, so I think that's
Well, the people that are coming to to stealth and into the spy house, I remind them,
You gotta watch out for that cat. That cat finds us, we're done for.
Indeed, I'll think on this. I think I have something up my sleeve that may help for that.
Remember, the cat can scry.
okay. The first engineer and the sky captain both get up, and Edwin says to you all, "Thank you again for putting your trust with us. Our city will shine once again once this corruption has been rooted out. And when it does, I hope you see what our people are really like. Maybe I'll throw a fancy estate together similar to yours in Tiragard Pinnacle."
That's what I'm talking about.
He
Sounds
shakes
nice.
each of your hands before parting ways with the Sky Captain. All right. So, as the two of them leave discreetly out the back, it's a bit after midnight now. It's up to you guys what you want to do.
Lolamir's gonna set up his tiny hut again and invite anybody who wants to come over.
Corhill's gonna test something. He's gonna place Storm's End on one end of the room, and then he's gonna try to have it come to his hand.
In Lord Lumir's hut?
Wherever he's currently at. In either the hut or the room or even in the tavern. He doesn't really care.
Okay. Easy enough. It drags along the floor before hovering and jumping to your hand.
Okay. I'm going to put it in the same spot again, and this time go further away.
How much does that object weigh?
Do you try and lift it?
No, I was just my mage hand is still there. I was just thinking of screwing around and just catching it when he tries to pull it back.
Yep, so you see Corhill planting it again and beginning to walk away. And as he does, for a prank, you summon your mage hand and try and lift it, and it cannot lift this axe.
It's over 10. Damn it! It's over 10 pounds.
Definitely.
Dang.
You're just unworthy.
And
So it reaches me again?
it reaches you. It seems to have a endless range.
Okay.
Ooh,
Good to know.
That's really cool.
I go to the
Um,
bathhouse to wash up.
Okay.
What does the is there like a hut that's not Loromir's, like a shed or something outside?
There's the bathhouse, but that's about it.
Okay. I grab Corhill. Let's test this out a little further out.
Okay. How far is the bathhouse from the tavern?
It's maybe like 20 feet away.
Oh. Okay. I want to put like maybe 50 feet of distance between the bathhouse
Okay.
and I can't lift this thing, so Cora's gonna have to do some sprinting, but the intention is that he stays inside the bathhouse.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to where you are, sprinting to the bathhouse?
And like you're inside and then you're gonna summon it.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. I think I know where you're going with this. It's exactly where I was going.
Okay. So, Guy, you are having your bath,
Oh god, we forgot about Sky.
and you see Corhill sprinting, or you hear somebody sprinting outside towards the bathhouse. You're not sure who.
What the heck? Who's running at this hour? I get up from my bath. Is there like a window I can look out of?
There's not a window in the bathhouse now. To avoid pervs.
That'd be creepy.
Corhill run.
I'm a little perturbed that I'm not alone in this bath. So, I mean, how long have I been in it already?
I'd say like probably a little under 10 minutes.
Okay. I start to hustle to finish off getting ready to go.
Okay. So Corhill, what's your plan here?
All right, so once I've placed the object where Thea is, my axe, not the object, I'm going to hustle to the bathhouse, go inside, and attempt to summon Storm's End from just beyond the entrance, like with the door closed.
Oh, okay. So you burst into the bathhouse. Sky, you instinctively... I mean, instinctively you get scared as the person running outside bursts into the bathhouse. And Corhill, you close the door. Sky, you hear this from around the corner. What do you do?
Why are you in here?
Oh, sorry, Sky, forgot you were here, but just, running a little experiment with Thea.
What's this experiment? Why are you here? Don't look at me.
I'll like turn around. Okay. I didn't realize you were indecent.
I was bathing. It's a bathhouse. You just don't storm into a bathhouse.
Well, this is the entrance to the bathhouse. Why are you naked at the entrance of the bathhouse?
Because the baths are right at the entrance. This is the bathhouse.
But again, like you wouldn't be naked at the entrance. Anyways, I'm gonna put my hand out and I'm gonna try to summon
I'm like, why are you
Stormwind.
putting your hand out? What are you trying to grab?
I'm trying to concentrate.
And I just started go up to him and be like, get out of here! Leaving me out! Running at this hour, coming and busting into my bath.
So, as soon as Corhill raises his hand out to grab whatever he's trying to grab, as you're pushing him away, about, I'd say, 20 seconds or so goes by until you hear something hovering outside, getting faster and faster and closer to the bathhouse. You hear this, and as soon as you hear it right outside, it just slams through the door and leaves this giant hole just in the middle of the door. And you see Corhill's axe now in his hand.
As soon as the hammer starts flying off, Theo would be booking it to the bathhouse to try to see it slam into it.
Okay, I'd say you could keep pace with it.
Okay.
I unarmed strike Corhill.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Okay.
Uh-oh, this isn't gonna go well.
PvP.
I have a feeling I know who's winning. One's got an axe in the hand, one's just got a hand.
Hand in
Does
hand.
17 hit you, Corhill?
Let's see here. It does not.
So Corhill, you feel Guy hit you and it just bounces off your armor.
My favorite is that she's naked right now.
Yeah, this guy's completely naked.
I am so mad because I appreciate a good bath. And I say, why the heck in all the places would you choose to experiment here? We get dirty through all these adventurings, and you choose to ruin the one place that makes us feel human again. The bathhouse. You use the bathhouse too. What the heck? Couldn't you have done this elsewhere?
Do we hear that?
You're gonna be ruining every bathhouse that we
We
go
just
on
hear
these
that.
adventures.
You
I don't want to be having to enjoy a nice bath now with a giant hole in the door.
so from
Do
the,
I see this happen at this point?
oh yeah, Thea, you see this happening, and from
So-
the third floor, you guys hear a commotion outside at the bathhouse. And
So
you-
as Sky is just ripping on me, I'm going to, and as she tried to punch me, I'm just going to get up without looking at her because Corhill's a respectful dude, and he's just going to slowly walk away. And when he meets up with Thea, just gives her a high five.
Yes! That was so cool!
all right,
Orlamir's gonna peek outside and start singing a song about what's going on.
all right. So
Well,
Sky, when
I'm also gonna peek outside, like
so
under his
Sky,
legs.
when you're
This guy's
yelling,
just naked outside.
when you're yelling at Gorhill, you hear a window open from above, from the third floor where your party's staying at, and you see Lorlamir with an instrument. He begins playing a song, and from the other windows of the room, you see Finn and Lausian as well looking out the window.
Can I join Lorlamir in singing?
Yeah, so the second window opens, and Lausian begins to sing from the window.
Keep that tune going, Lorlamir, and don't let it drop.
Are they all staring at me?
Yep.
Did you go outside?
No, not yet. I was like, but I'm wondering how big this freaking hole is, and like, if anyone's
I'm
like
sure-
going down to look.
I'm sure the door's disintegrated at this point.
Yeah.
It's like Left 4 Dead when the zombies and there's that giant hole. in the door.
I put on my undergarments, and I grab my clothes, and I use my Ong Bao to rise up, and I'm gonna try to unarmed strike all of them, because I think they're all perverts at this point.
I'd say you could only get up to one before they retreat from the window, so who are you gonna try and attack?
The one that looks the most into this situation.
Well, Lorlamir's playing an instrument, so...
Hold on, lyrics are coming into the chat soon.
Oh god.
I look in from my head in interpretation one who looks the thirstiest and pervious at this moment.
I don't think anyone
always-
looking is...
Probably none of us is probably that.
Yeah.
Ulrich.
But whoever's like focused too much on the situation, I'm gonna be like,
If Ulrich's also looking, he's probably more like Flesh.
Ulrich's asleep right now, right beside me. I've been trying to keep this boy awake. It's been difficult. Wake up!
I'm up.
Alright, Lorlamir, are you gonna sing these words?
Yeah, 1 second. I'm gonna write it first.
He's not sleeping, he's just resting his eyes.
Yeah.
No, he's full on sleeping.
He's just keeping his eyes refreshed and nice and, you know.
If you saw the image I have right now, he's sleeping. But yeah, I'm gonna unarmed strike.
Okay.
Sky with a bar of soap in her hand. Her night about to go unplanned. An axe to the door. Sky's bath only half poured. And now a naked Sky's heart is torn.
That's actually really good. I like it. But yeah, I go and rise up and unarmed strike. Yeah.
Okay. So make an attack roll.
Can I cast a spell?
Sure. Lorlamir, does 14 hit you?
Let's see. I would imagine that my armor is off at this point. So yes.
It's okay. So make it do your damage. Okay. So Lorlamir, you get a pretty hard punch in your face after you sing the last line.
Lorlamir's just going to close the window.
Okay. So Sky, as you gently land back, you see Lorlamir close the window.
I landed on their like sill, because I go in for like a full on like uppercut, rising up really fast from the bottom.
Oh, so you're still naked.
Yep.
She got dressed.
She's dressed. I'm gonna cast Firebolt at her feet.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, roll an attack roll.
Wait, fire bolt?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Why?
You're attacking the group.
I'm attacking whoever
Wow.
is too involved.
Lausian doesn't stand for this shit.
Does 11 hit you, Sky?
It's only you only rolled the d10.
It's a cantrip.
Yeah, but you still have to roll to hit.
Oh, sorry. Let me get the model. I rolled the wrong. Sorry.
Keep in mind, Sky, your AC is currently 10 10 plus your dexterity because you're unarmored right now.
Does an 18 hit?
I imagine.
So we'll just keep the damage roll from before.
Yeah.
I can reroll it.
So, Sky, as you uppercut Lord Lemire and he closes the window, from the window next to his, you see a fiery red streak hit your feet, and you suddenly feel like your feet are on fire. As you take 11 damage of fire damage.
Rude.
All right, everyone, just chill, relax. Thea and I were just testing a theory. I'm pretty sure I know where she's going with it, but maybe we want to discuss this somewhere a little more quiet.
I go to put my feet in water. Cool, Mom.
Alright, so Sky, you go back to your bath.
Reconvene in the tavern. Thea goes back laughing.
Yeah, same. I just chuckle under my breath.
I kind of just turn around and say, wow, what an interesting group of friends.
All right, so when we're back in there, Thea, I'm assuming you're thinking what I'm thinking.
100%.
Finn has a bag of holding. I'm
Am
thinking
I
we
in
just
range of hearing this?
I don't know, is he?
I imagine you're on the 3rd floor, so
Yes.
Thea and Corhill are on the 1st floor, just coming back in from outside.
My guess is we could dump our belongings in there. Those of us are going to the wedding. And if things get, a little dicey, we just strap it onto Storm's End here. And he'll just deliver the goods.
Exactly.
Oh. Resourceful.
It's nice having another smart person around.
You're welcome.
Oh my god, I didn't even see you.
Can I appear behind people's legs? Hello. That's why they call me Lightfoot.
I think they call you Lightfoot because you weigh about 45 pounds, give or take.
It's a solid 42, sir.
Regardless of how much you weigh. Are you cool with that plan?
I highly recommend that plan, yes. If anything, I could even disguise someone else to look like a guard. I can make myself invisible. We can get a number of ways past them.
Okay. I mean, those options might be a little bit more elegant than my brutish attempt, but yeah.
I like this one a lot more.
Don't worry. Why fight when we can just pass without trace? You know what they say. Sly as a fox. I'm gonna kind of give a little head nod, like a tip of my hat.
I like that you compared yourself to an even smaller animal.
Maybe
I
almost.
pat him on the head.
My foot gives a little tap on the floor.
Loki likes it.
Okay. So I assume you all retire to your bedroom.
Yeah.
So you guys head to sleep once again. This night, your mind wanders to the possibilities that tomorrow brings. Endless questions pour through your heads, and the night ends with a restless night's sleep, but a long rest nonetheless. You awaken to the bustling caravans and traders rushing inwards to the city's core. You look outside your windows, and you can see the crowd sprawling across the road as far as you can see. The sky is clear from any clouds, and the snowfall from a few days ago has mostly been cleared from the streets. One moment, I'm going to switch the music.
I go and try to get some breakfast.
Similar to yesterday, this time sausages. and eggs.
I'm gonna approach Sky in the tavern, and I'm just gonna come up to her and say, "I'm really sorry about yesterday. I didn't mean to startle you."
Thea's sitting down, eating her giant plate of sausages and eggs, just watching this.
What else you need saying shit?
I would just be.
I'm okay with experiments, but maybe next time just be more cautious of the venue. I really like keeping myself clean with the bathhouse. Now there's a giant hole in it.
When Gwen
Noted.
hears this, she's like, "What? What about my bathhouse?"
Oh, nothing. It's just,
No,
it's a
absolutely
draft.
something, Gwen. Him and also Thea were experimenting with something and made a giant hole, destroyed the door to the bathhouse.
Would you like to hear the song?
And by giant, they mean, not that big, just a small draft, just
No, like the door's gone.
You see
gone ajar, she means.
eyebrow begin to twitch. I assume you'll be paying for the damages.
I had anticipated this happen, and I have a little pouch of gold that I just slide closer to Gwen as I eat another sausage.
She takes it and lightly smacks your wrist.
I'll remind you, we do a lot of good.
She walks back into the kitchen. A short time passes before she exits out the kitchen with a hammer and some planks of wood.
I go help her.
Yeah, same.
It's okay. I will just put these in place temporarily. And you see her.
How much did you give her?
I would know how much a door would cost. How much would a door cost?
Around not even a gold.
I give her 5 gold.
Lord Lemire will help and make a permanent door.
While singing?
Wait, really? Oh, right, because you're a woodworker, right?
Carver, yeah.
Okay. I'd say you don't even have to roll for it. It
just
does
happy.
take a bit of time, but before the afternoon's finished, you finish the door. Or sorry, before the morning's finished, you finish the door.
On the front of the door, can I artistically depict the scene from last night? If I put in an extra like 2 hours or something, like just carve like a naked sky with like a bunch of people looking at her, but
You
like
definitely-
artistically.
Yeah, you definitely can make this engraving in the door.
The moment I see him starting to do illustrations that are uncommon and
There's
a bit
no way
bizarre,
that he would have walked out while I was doing that.
Yeah, it's taking him like a few hours, so I don't imagine Sky would be watching the entire.
I would have at first been watching them like making the door.
Yeah, it would have been after I built the door that I start doing the.
I'd say roll. You can roll your woodworking check. So it'd be survival plus proficiency plus your roll.
17.
Okay, so you the details on this door look like they would be, if it wasn't what Lord Lemire was trying to depict, it looks like it would be a door in some kind of more fancy restaurant or a noble's house. It looks very well done. But
if you're in the know, you know what it is.
If you know, you know.
You know, you know.
Did you do this on the inside of the door or the outside of the door?
The outside of the door.
Perfect. Okay.
So everybody could see it.
Do you engrave anything into it? Like you're like giving credit to yourself?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. Anonymous. Okay. So Gwen says, "Thank you for repairing the door. I guess no harm, no foul." And she tosses Thea back her 5 gold coin purse.
Trust
And-
me, it is my pleasure.
And she says, "Oh, this came for all of you. So to the people attending the wedding, you guys get formal clothes.
Get formal wear?
Yeah. So you guys can add formal clothes to your inventories.
I don't
What
think
does it look
Corhill's
like?
ever worn anything formal.
Thea certainly has not. She lives on a fucking pirate ship.
I want to see what all of you wear in terms of formal clothing.
So what kind of clothes is it?
So they're called formal clothes, but they'd probably look,
Fine clothes, maybe? If you're like using Dice Cloud.
yeah, fine clothes.
Yeah.
Okay, I
So-
need to know what they look like.
Yeah, let me grab an image. It's funny because I knew that you guys would ask.
Are they all the same?
Different color variations, but this is what the ladies would look like.
Wow.
And
So
the
pretty.
guy would wear something like this.
I'm guessing they're all the same, right?
Yeah, they're like tiny variations of the same, but generally looking very similar to one another.
What's the suits look like?
So the men would wear something more like this. And yes, this is from The Witcher.
That's what we were wearing. I was like, oh, nice. Monocle, top hat.
The gentleman will rehearse.
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
Thea is quite excited to see Brad in that.
Bran suddenly has a change of heart, and he says, "Maybe I should go with the stealthing."
No,
Rude.
It's already here. It's in your size.
Okay, so I assume everybody who is attending switches into these formal wears.
I would have raised a pint to Bran and say, "Happy wife, happy life," and then take a sip.
I'm taking the dress in blue.
Okay.
Does it fit me properly?
It does, yeah.
As a joke in a laughing manner, I'm gonna kind of nudge Bran, I guess, on the knee, since that's as high as I am.
On the ankle.
On the
I think
on the knee. And I'm like,
You'd reach
anytime.
his, like, I don't even, like, calf.
Shin.
Yeah, shin or calf.
Ankle.
I'll give him a little nudge to kind of get his attention.
And he looks
Be like-
down to you.
Like, anytime you need invisibility, just let me know, and then I'll chuckle and walk away.
Now?
I'll turn back a motion that I can't hear him.
He's like, ugh. And he comes back down the stairs, and Thea, you witness a very uncomfortable Bran.
I give him a kiss on the cheek. You look great.
He blushes and scratches the back of his head. Okay, so seeing that the door adventure took the better part of the morning, it's around 12:30 in the afternoon now. You know that the wedding ceremonies are to start soon, so you all travel inward with the rest of the crowd. I'm assuming no one's bringing anything besides the people sneaking, so your
Right.
armor is now 10 plus your dexterity modifier, and you are unarmed.
Before we
Are
go,
we- yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
gonna
say
be
that.
like, I gotta say, hey everyone. Seems like things always go not according to plan. I would recommend highly you store some things in my bag of holding. You know, probably your weapons, of course. I'm gonna kind of look at everyone that's getting dressed up all fancy. I'm like, unless you plan on hiding those swords somewhere else.
Corhill will begin tying one end of a rope to the end of Storm End.
I'm gonna tie down the bow of Deus as well.
I guess I'll tie down my weapon as well.
Are you guys just putting him in the bag?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that was the plan. Just pop them into the bag so that
I
way.
say we tie all your weapons that you guys are dressed up together, so that when you call your axe, all the weapons go to basically where you guys are standing.
It's like a blimp.
Corhill will just tap his nose. You got it.
I just open the bag and stuff just flies out of it. Surprise!
Says I have like 18 weapons come rushing at his head.
18 great swords. Just crah.
All right. Anything else you guys want to do to prepare before you leave?
I still have a fern root from long time ago.
Mhm.
Can I try that?
Sorry, can you try what?
Smoking the fern root.
Oh, are you around Theo when you do that?
I assume
I
so
don't know.
if you're in the tavern.
No,
Okay.
we're.
Hi.
Are we still in the tavern?
Yeah, this is happening before you guys leave.
Okay.
Also, Ulrich, are you still Ulrich, or are you the other one?
No.
I didn't answer my
What?
question. Are you
No.
still Ulrich, or the other one?
Oh, I'm Ulrich. I'm Ulrich.
No.
It's echoing.
Okay. So are you doing this before you leave?
Yeah.
Okay.
The wedding that's happening, I'm assuming just outside was where everyone will keep their like carriages and horses and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll get to that in one sec. So for Ulrich, the only fire you see is the fireplace.
Sure.
So,
I mean, I think it's still like. I'm assuming the fern root's like a root, right?
Mhm.
Can I smoke it though?
So you're not sure of how to properly
Yeah.
consume this, as the only people who would are druids or
Oh.
people who are people who have used before druidic root, but now have kind of used it more for their own trips, so it's become more common. But I think that Thea would be the only one who would know how to properly consume this.
So I guess I'll bust it out and see if I can, and show it to Thea.
Mm-hmm.
Thea, I want to take this and make me feel good for the wedding.
What? As I try to adjust my body into a tight dress. What are you taking?
Fern root.
And how did someone like you get your hands on that?
I don't remember.
Do you know how to smoke it?
You swallow the smoke. That's all I know. I've seen my parents do it before.
Oh my god.
It all makes sense now.
Indeed. We all whisper behind his back.
Okay, are you ready?
Sure.
As in, are you ready for the wedding?
Yes.
Your weapon in his bag, and I point to Corhill.
Yes.
All right. I sit down on the table and I rummage through my bag and I take out my supplies to make it smokable.
Okay. Easy enough. Ulrich, will you be the only one partaking in this?
I can share if everyone wants to join in.
I'm assuming I've had my. I'm quite familiar with Fenroot as well as probably Bran. Um, can I tell how good it is?
I think the origins of where you got this root is, I think you stole it from somebody.
I don't remember.
I think you got it like, I don't think you got it that long ago, so.
Oh, so it's like good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. I make sure to portion in a way where he can't get completely fucked.
Okay, good. I was about to say. So with the kind of parenting, your first time experiencing this drug, I guess make a
Oh, I didn't realize it was his first time.
make a trying to think. I'd say, I guess, like a wisdom saving throw
Yeah.
at advantage.
Do I see this going on?
Oh yeah.
I gotta say to
Wisdom.
Finn.
Okay.
With advantage.
I'm gonna say to Finn, a secret plan. Trying to keep low and make sure we don't attract attention. And his bright idea is to try for the first time.
Oh no.
Right now.
Oh. Okay. So you begin to consume this fern root with Thea and Bran. It being your first time ever doing it, you guys begin to head inward towards the city. At first, Ulrich feels fine, but you swear that as you keep making your way through this crowd, you feel as though the crowd is following you.
Oh no.
And you get a bit paranoid of everybody so close to you.
I hold Thea's and Bran's hand and grip their hands tightly.
Okay, Thea, you feel a very sweaty hand
Ugh!
tightly grip you.
Gross.
Kind of like when I hold your hand.
I whispered to Bran's ear, I think that was his first time.
I feel like it is, and he slides his hand away from Ulrich, says it's so sweaty.
I slide my hand out of his and just put his hand on his leg, and I put my hand on top of his because most hands don't get sweaty on the outside as much. And I say, it's okay. You're having such a good time right now. You look amazing. And think about how this carriage ride feels. It's so comfortable right now. Just relax. Close your eyes, lay back.
I close my eyes.
And when you close your eyes,
The demons come.
you see Mikhail and Rebecca, your two parents who you remember from your island home in Scalag.
Backstory.
And you see blood pouring
Oh,
from all
fuck.
the wounds that you inflicted before you left that island. And
Oh,
you
God.
see Sonia, Henrik, Antonis, and Lucian all judging you from afar as your parents collapse into the ground below you.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
I'm in a carriage, right?
You're walking.
I'm walking.
You're walking.
I run.
I have his. I will stop him immediately.
Oh, Ulrich. Wait, go.
And you feel a tug, and you turn around and you see your sister Sonia.
Oh fuck.
And she says, "Murderer."
I pull away.
Is he running away at this point?
Yes.
Can I sprint and try to like sprint tackle him?
He is faster than all of you, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's not faster than me. I think we're about
Oh,
the
yeah?
same speed.
Yeah.
Okay, Corhill, so you try and
Yeah.
grab him.
Yeah.
I'd say make a grapple check. I think it's strength.
Strength, yeah.
What's his movement?
40.
Oh, God.
Oh damn.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
His sweaty body, you try and grip
Yeah,
it, but he
I can't.
slides right
I can't
through.
hold the sweaty hand. It slipped right out.
So
Uh,
Ulrich, you take off.
What is happening?
What
I just
was
find
in that stuff, Thea?
have you ever heard about Fenroot?
I mean, I've heard of it. I've never done it, but like, is this a normal side effect?
For someone who's never done it before, apparently, maybe.
You let
I-
him do this before this kind of event?
Look at me right now. I am completely fine.
You knew he was a first timer. You knew this.
I
was gonna be
did.
the
I
flaw. Why would we
obviously
even allow it?
didn't know. Who carries Fenroot? And good Fenroot.
I mean, Ulrich's a strange guy. We all know this.
And would you have been like, oh, of course, he's never done that.
No, I would have assumed he's the type that would have already done it before.
Exactly. Also, I don't like that you just said type, but we'll move past that.
Oh, I think I'm also like 18 years old.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, God.
Oh.
You're like a Viking in your picture, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say you look a little older than that.
Look, maybe 19. A fresh 19.
Jeez.
So what do we do now? We've got.
So I guess at this point I'm like missing,
running
right?
to the woods.
Yeah, you're missing an action, but you do see your 4 siblings behind you, cursing you and screaming at you.
We've got an intoxicated lunatic running through the woods. We have to attend this event. What do we do?
I'm sure he'll be fine.
The whole
No,
point is not
we
attract
can't
attention.
leave him out there like this.
Would I be able to catch him?
What's your movement speed?
45.
Oh,
Wait, I thought you were stealthing though.
Well, I'm with the stealthy group, but we haven't left yet, right? We're still
yeah,
together?
you're still together, yeah.
Okay.
So you're able to catch him. So I'd say, what are you trying to do to stop him?
I want to attempt a stunning strike.
Okay, and that's just an attack roll?
I have to. It has to do a Constitution save, I think. I'm gonna double check it.
Okay.
How close is it to the wedding?
It's happening within the hour.
How long does the friend route last?
You're not sure.
Okay.
But yes, guys, so you have to hit them with a melee attack. And you have to spend a key point to try and do a stunning strike.
That's fine. I'll do that now.
Okay. So yeah, you can make an attack roll. Keep in mind, Ulrich, your armor class is 10 plus whatever your dexterity modifier is. Oh, and also keep in mind, Sky, that you don't have a weapon, so you're using your hands, so you don't get your bonus with your staff.
I still do with my line wraps.
Okay.
What the heck?
Does,
Wow!
so Ulrich,
Who's catching this guy?
He's
What-
so sweaty.
what's your dexterity mod, Ulrich?
+2.
Oh fuck.
But I think I have an armored thing because I'm a barbarian.
Oh yeah, you don't even need armor.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that definitely doesn't hit. You see Sonya now reemerge and try and strike you, but you quickly dodge out of the way and keep running. You hear a barbarian panting and screaming gibberish.
I guess I head deeper into the crowd.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So luckily, Ulrich's heading towards the wedding. As you're unable to catch your friend, you quickly try and keep up pace with him. As you make it closer towards the inner parts of the city, you now see a large bell tower that looms over you, leaving a dark shadow below that extends past where you can actually see. This section of Belkarth is built directly underneath the bluffs, and the bluffs is where the council's chambers are. So that's so you see a fork in the road, one leading towards the bluffs, which is where the sneaking party would be heading, but the majority of the crowd is heading eastward, presumably towards the wedding. Ulrich, now at a fork in the road. Ulrich, why don't you roll a d4 for me and tell me what you get? Okay.
4.
So you head eastward towards the crowd. I'd say at this fork in the road, Sky, you'd have one more shot to try and subdue, as you're the only one to catch up to him. So trying to hit him again if you want to do a stunning strike.
I don't want to do a stunning strike because I want to keep my key points.
Okay.
But is there any way that I can just I don't know,
You could try and grapple him.
grapple him? I guess.
All right, so make a strength check. Oh no. Corhill, you could make one as well.
Okay. Am I just rolling a d20?
Yep, d20. So just make a strength check.
This is getting funnier by the second.
It was a perfect plan.
Still ain't
Okay.
catching him.
Okay.
I'm lost in the crowd.
Yeah, you guys lose track of Ulrich. I guess that's where we'll leave it off this week.
We've lost
God.
Ulrich. That's where we're leaving it off.
Damn.
Ulrich? Who's that? Oh, who's that guy? you know him? I don't know.